Hi everyone, I'm recording this video to go over the design for help users select different policy type. We haven't talked about it for a while because we were working on the layouts and also the illustrations and finalized with the help on the foundation team. We got the illustration final. So I want to just go over the design again to make sure that we're on the same page and is ready for development. So first, the workflow. So the workflow look like this. I will record a GIF for this, so don't worry. And this is like, for example, if I have an empty page, you can click here to create a policy. If they are already policy, user can use this button, create a new policy. And when they click on create a new policy, basically like a user will choose a type of policy first instead of go to the detail for the next step. And if user click on cancel, user just go back to the previous page. The original policy page list, that's for the cancel button. And if you user click on select one of the policy, and they will go to the details. And to go back to previous step, user have two ways. First, they can click on the breadcrumb. And secondly, they can go with the button below it. So I would expect this is more used by the user because all the controls are here when the user say, hey, create a merge request, and this is probably more obvious. And the cancel button is basically just cancel everything. So the cancel button will directly cancel the step 1, step 2, and go back to the stage. If you choose this, is go back to 1 step, cancel, go back to 2 steps. So that's a workflow. And also, I have included a flowchart. If it's not clear, you can always go back to the video or ask me, or you can look at the flowchart to show how the flow works. Another thing is about the cars. So the cars is like newly designed. So we're still like working on the pajama documentation about the cars, the layout and the step. So you might expect that after 2 or 3 milestones, there's some like a mini change needed there. For example, here I use the padding for, I think this is 24. And yeah, it's the 24 and maybe it will become 16. So those small changes, I think it might happen, but I don't think it will be affect us that much. So I think we can just go with this design and for the development for now, and later if we define any changes with the guidelines with pajama, we can always update later. So that should be okay. And now you can see that we have 2 types of cars. Like one is horizontal, one is vertical. So the design for the horizontal is when there is 1 column is large enough, and we use the horizontal part. When the 1 column is really narrow, we use the vertical because we want to this text is still be readable for the user. And when, like, for example, this layout squeezed to this size on a smaller screen, it's really difficult to read. So that's why like we change from horizontal to vertical, and the breakpoint is 480. And for the 2 column to 1 column switch, the breakpoint is 768. I think this standard. If GitLab use a different one, then let me know. We can always adjust it so it's not finalized. And also here I give some examples about, for example, like I think this is barely happen that user have like a little, it's not a tablet, it's not a desktop, but they have some very old fashioned kind of a screen size, which is in the breakpoints that is still 2 column, but 1 column is very narrow. So we use the vertical cards for 2 column. And this is the example for the smallest sized for horizontal card for 2 columns. So usually I think we will just have 3 situations, like a 2 column horizontal, 1 column horizontal, and then 1 column vertical. So this is I think is edge case, but I demonstrate here just to make sure. And another thing that we want to say, that's like we want to give the cars equal height. So we always match to the largest height on the same row, and the space we can stretch is between the button and the content. So we need to make sure that each card is on the same height, on the same row, and the buttons are on the same level as well. So basically that's it. And I will share the Figma file. You can see that those are the Figma file. You can always I think for the developer, you have the view that you can see the spacing and see the spacing here. If you don't see it, let me know. I can specify everything like this for you. But I think you see it here as well, just to make sure. And another thing is I didn't include this too in the designs here because for some reason I cannot upload it. It's show me error. I don't know why, but I think when we move to the Epic, I will put them in the description. It shouldn't be a problem. But for now, please go to Figma for the examples. And yeah, I will report back for it. I really don't know why. Thank you for watching. And yeah, if I have any question, let me know.